Good evening. I'm Epstein with your Metal Market Wrap-Up, and this wrap-up is for Thursday evening, November 21st, 2024. Before we get to everything, the news for tomorrow, you're going to get the S&P Global Group releasing their preliminary November manufacturing and service sector PMIs, and you'll get from the University of Michigan the final November consumer sentiment indices, and that'll come out around 9. All right. You woke up this morning, like me, and we had all heard an ICBM missile, the first since the Cold War. Looks like it was fired. I use the word carefully. Looks like it was fired by Russia into Ukraine. Escalation. All right. Then a number of news sources started saying they can't verify that it was an ICBM. I mean, this was going in fairly fast order. And then later in the morning, President Putin took to the airwaves in Russia, and he made, I believe it was a TV appearance, and said that no, it was not an ICBM. It was an experimental mid-range ballistic missile, increased speed, things of that nature. One of these hypersonic type missile prototypes. And that the U.S. had been notified before it was fired. Okay. So I'm guessing now, the question is, do the embassies reopen? What goes on? Because this was at least done. We know how serious the events are. We know that we're deploying and have deployed with the UK longer range missiles, about 190 miles to 155 mile range at Russia. They have been fired. So the war keeps going, and somewhere along the line, everybody's looking, where does this stalemate end? And it is a stalemate right now. Nobody seems to be capturing or taking a lot more land than they've captured and holding on to it. Russia's doing a pretty good job of that, but Ukraine's got that sliver of land that it was able to get back. Obviously, as the winter closes in, Russia has been hitting the infrastructure, the electricity, heat, things of that nature, trying to freeze out Ukraine. We'll see what happens. But as January 20th approaches, you know what that means. Trump steps in, and who knows if he'll have magic or not. I mention all this because there's something interesting going on. I'm leading you to this for a reason. It's not a history lesson. Why didn't gold go up $100 an ounce on an ICBM strike that was first reported? That bothered me. Should have. We could have been in World War III. We don't know what they were going to fire. Can you imagine if they fired a missile with a tactical nuclear weapon? Who knows what that would do? So the first instinct, I know when I heard ICBM, I was concerned, and I'm sure others were. Then when we heard how it ratcheted down, it wasn't. What's clear is this is a market, a Trump rally again. It's, you know, we had the correction to it already. I think now we're into that pattern where we go. And I think it's the stock market, the dollar, are the two major beneficiaries. Commodity markets at this point aren't. Part of that probably has to do with all the tariffs that are going to come on, and trade going to slow down between the U.S. and some of our trading partners. We don't quite know what the tariffs are going to be or not. All right. When we go to the chart action, and that's where I want us to head now, gold on that one correction down held nicely, and this week has been spent going up, and we are for the week up 4%, so that is impressive. It's been a neat correction from the 25.50 area back to about a 50%, not quite there, from this break low, and this is why one of the reasons I think the market is stalled. You still have the pattern of lower highs, lower lows. The market rallied to the 18-day average. If you take a look at the 50-day, you'll also see that's a resistance point. So far, what has happened? The first break to the 100-day average held. Now the first rally back into the 18 is restraining the market at this point. The Bollinger Band, which we got under in that free fall that the market had, has come back. But the market hasn't regained that oomph it had when you first heard back here that Trump had won the presidency and the market was running. I think you'll remember, if anything, the market peaked out and came down on the Trump presidency. So this all gets fairly interesting. You're no longer in oversold territory. I'm looking for the market to decide what it wants to do now. Now, that doesn't mean today or tomorrow, but now against this 18-day average in the back and forth action. The gold-silver ratio still favors, and this is one of the things you look at. Metal markets as a group aren't rallying against the dollar. The dollar's rallying against the silver. Silver laid down again at its 100-day average, not even getting to that 18-day. The copper market is slipping back, and the platinum, as you know, I thought you'd have a lot of resistance, and we talked about it here now for days. I thought the resistance would show up in the zone of the 200-day, the 100, and the 18-day average of closes. Now, if you can get over all that, then I get excited again, especially in the platinum. That would be the exciting part, but it hasn't been able to do that. Let's take a look at now over here in the dollar index. I just want you to see what it was doing. You finished up 31 points. The market has come up, you have an embedded reading, and you're knocking on the door of new highs for the whole move. So the dollar's gotten the bid, and the bid is the stock market. A rally back in the gold, not to new highs. So it's not the same type of play. And that's the point that I'm making to you. Now, we did do certain things this morning. If you get my morning subscriber video, we were making moves today. Moves were made in some of the currencies. Moves were made if you know, I not only do one in futures, I do it in the stock spiders, ETFs, and stocks. And we made a move today in the one of the stock index ETFs. So, and I'm talking obviously the bull side because you know that I've been bullish in the market, and today was to me one of the buy days. So if you'd like to see what we're doing, how we do it, stop orders, profit objectives, talking fundamentals, giving you special reports, these are where you go. We talk both long-term and short-term. Some of the trades are made off weekly charts, some are made off the daily chart. So give you a little bit there. All you need to do is go to iraepstein.com, take a look if you would under the word research, and it's all laid out there for you. I'm Ira. I'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. You have a great evening.